Hey, my fellow property managers, Marc Cunningham at Grace Property Management. Well, if you're struggling to grow your property management business, you're not alone. Many PMs right now are just struggling with growth. You're bringing new stuff on, but stuff's going out the back door faster. And so the question has come up more often recently than in the past to me, hey, Marc, what's better? Should I focus on organic growth, right? Just bringing on one and bring on another one and market and sign up another one, or do I swing for the home run and go for an acquisition? Should I just buy a portfolio from an existing company? Do I buy another company? What's the best way to approach that? Now, neither of these are right or wrong. And just so you understand where I'm coming from, our company has done both. We've been in business for almost 50 years. We've acquired a number of our competitors over the years. I think we bought maybe a half dozen actual companies, small to mid-sized companies over the years. We've also done acquisitions where we'll just take some doors of smaller companies that it's not enough to buy the company, but we'll pay them a referral fee, take on a bunch of doors. So we've done a fair amount of that. And we're also very good at just organic growth. We grow well over 100 doors per year organically, the ones, the twos. So we have a knowledge base of both. Neither's right or wrong, but let me just share with you kind of the pros and cons, in our opinion, of each of these options to help you be clear on what's best for your business. So first, let's look at the idea of an acquisition. Maybe you're going to find a small competitor. Maybe they've got 20 doors, 100 doors. What are the pros? What are the reasons that you say, yes, I want to do that? Well, obviously, number one is it's a large group, right? I mean, you flip the switch and suddenly, bang, you've got 50 doors, you've got 100 doors, you've got 200 doors. That's a very attractive aspect, the most attractive. I didn't have to work real hard on the one and the one and the one. I just worked hard in for 100 side. And then the other obvious pro is the money starts immediately. So on day one, you are bringing in management fees and bringing in income on a 100-door portfolio that you just acquired. These things are rather obvious. But what are some of the negatives of an acquisition? Now, there's a lot. One is, of course, you're paying money. It's expensive. You're going to have to figure out how to finance this. What I've seen recently is the valuations of acquisitions has ticked up in the last number of years as compared to what it used to be. So you're paying a lot to acquire doors which may or may not be valuable enough, and you don't want to get all excited and get what's commonly referred to in the industry as deal heat. You just want to close the deal so bad, and you end up overpaying for properties and owners and management agreements that aren't worth the dollars that you sent out to bring those things in. So it's very, very expensive. Number two, the onboarding and the terms, meaning you didn't define the terms. It's not your property management agreement. If you're buying those accounts, then whatever weird terms they have in their property management agreement, you have to change your business model to accommodate those terms. If they've got crazy fee structures, guess what? You now have a crazy fee structure. If they're promising to do quarterly occupied property inspections, well, guess what you're doing? Quarterly occupied inspections. Now, yes, you can potentially get them onto your PMA upon expiration, but until then, you're under their terms, and you've got to bring all those people on. Don't overlook the onboarding aspect of those things, which takes us to number three negative choice or negative con. They didn't choose you. There's a reason they went with that company. They liked that person. They liked their process. They, for the most part, enjoy working with that company. And suddenly they're being told that under no choice of their own, they don't get that other company anymore. Maybe it's a good situation. Maybe that person's retiring. But they don't get them. They get you. They didn't choose you. They don't necessarily like you, which leads to the con number four, which is attrition. You can expect to lose, and I'll tell you how many, a significant portion of those. Now, in the industry, in the real estate sales industry, what they call this, or not just the industry, but the M&A, the merger and acquisition, there's a name for this because it's so common, that idea of acquiring a competitor. They refer to it as breakage. What's the breakage going to be? Very technical term there, because they all understand that some people are going to leave because they don't like you. And you may be a better company. And when we've done acquisitions, we know this, we've done it enough times that we understand that over the first 12 months in that acquisition, it doesn't matter how smooth the process goes. It doesn't matter how terrible they were and how great we were. None of that matters. You will lose. I am willing to bet you a lot of money. You will lose 20% of those doors minimum in year one. Why 20%? Well, you're going to lose 10% because we all lose 10% every year because life happens. People leave, they move in, they sell the house, whatever. You're going to lose 10%. You're going to lose another 20% of that portfolio because of the acquisition, because they're going to hear about the transfer and they're going to think, I've been thinking of selling anyway the last couple of years, so this is just going to push me over the edge. This is going to be the triggering event. Or they're not going to like the way your owner statements look. They got so used to dealing with Ralph, the prior owner, and they loved that they could call Ralph anytime, and Ralph answered their phone, and they just liked Ralph. They just liked the guy. And you know what? They just don't like Marc. They don't like the color of my hair. They don't like my logo on the website. They just don't like us for some. There's just something about us because we're not Ralph. And so you're going to lose 20%. That's a big negative of that. Okay, so with that in mind, on the acquisition side, what about organic growth side? If we're comparing and contrasting these, what are some pros and cons there? Well, number one pro, they choose you. There's a natural attraction there. They've done their due diligence. They've talked to you. They have decided, yes, I want to do business with you. I'm giving you the key to the front door of my property. So you're going to have a natural, stronger attraction to that client. They've chosen you and you've chosen them. It's just going to make the whole relationship smoother from day one. And not only that, but they're on your terms. You're folding them into the way you do everything else. It's the same price structure. It's the same inspection schedule. It's the same maintenance triggers. All of those things are the same. You don't have a whole bunch of different properties with different terms and conditions in effect. Don't overlook the value of that. Now the downside, and there's just one on organic growth, is it's going to be slower. And if it wasn't for this negative on organic, I think we would all prefer organic growth. But we don't like slow. We want to go faster. We want to bring on more properties quicker because that's just the nature of how we all think. So that is the downside. Now there's some steps, and these are important. There are 3 steps to ensure that whichever direction you go, organic or acquisition, that you're having long-term success. Now, before I tell you what those 3 steps are, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Filter Time. Whether you bring on a property organically or you acquire it, you have to be aware of preventative maintenance, the things you can be doing for those doors to ensure that there's a preventative maintenance process in place. I just did a podcast last week with the gentleman at Filter Time. Good podcast. Good, you should go listen to it. We talked about preventative maintenance mistakes. What are the mistakes you and I make for preventative maintenance? Well, one of the mistakes we can't make is ensuring that we're maintaining the filters in the furnace. That's what Filter Time does, and that's all they do. One of the things I like about them is they're simple, they're cost effective, and they're easy to put in place. Jump on their website, pm.filtertime.com. Find out how you can set it up, that they will mail filters directly to your tenants on a recurring basis. You turn it on, you turn it off whenever you want. They mail those filters so that you're being actually proactive. It benefits your owners, benefits your properties, benefits your tenants, benefits you. It's a proactive thing you can do. Check them out. I know these guys, good folks at Filter Time. Okay, so let's go back to our steps. What are the steps you need to have in place? Number one, and these are in order. You've got to get your attrition under control. We haven't even talked about that word a whole lot yet, but you have a backdoor. You're going to lose 10% every year. You're going to lose 20% of the new portfolio you just acquired in year 1. If your attrition rate is significantly higher than that, you've got to get it under control before you do an acquisition. Because the worst thing you can do is be like, I'm losing so many doors. I'm not really growing organically, so I know I'll go buy a competitor. Okay. And so you buy a competitor, you spend a bunch of money, you bring in all these doors, but because you didn't fix the hole in the boat, even more of the doors that you just paid for leave. And 18 months later, you look up and you say, gosh, I've only got 60% of these doors left that I paid all this money for. I'm losing them at a fast clip. And so that didn't work. It's a short-term solution. It is not a long-term solution. You've got to figure out how to slow down and get your attrition under control. A few weeks ago, we did a video on this topic. Go back and watch that. Once you do that, then you have to, number 2, and in order, figure out how you're going to grow organically. You can't not grow organically and only grow through acquisitions because you will have attrition. And when you have attrition, the way you replace your attrition is organic growth. So unless you've solved number 1 and 2, don't do number 3. Number 3 is not a solution if number 1 and 2 are not under control. I've talked to more people who have done acquisitions who regret it than, well, I shouldn't say more. It's probably 50-50. So be cautious on the acquisitions. It's got to be a good fit. There's a lot of factors that go into ensuring it. We've done, as I say, many. They've all worked very well, but they're a lot of work. You're going to put a lot of effort into those. Don't overlook the challenges of an acquisition. Hey, how else can we help? Jump on our website, pmbuild.com. You'll find more things than you know what to do with as it relates to building, growing, and protecting your property management company. Until next time, I wish you success.